Morning. How are all you big beautiful bastards doing today then? I've got intro music now, isn't that fun? Although I've just realised I've got headphones on and I've not actually put any music on for myself, which is stupid. What do I feel like listening to today? Oh, I know what I'm going to listen to actually. Black Label Society. So just got two tables on the go at the minute. Got 20 NL and 4 NL, because they're the only tables that are currently active on Run It Once. As you can see there. Oh, I might be able to get into another 4 NL game actually. I'll sit and I'll wait in a couple of tables. Okay. I think we could throw a little stab out here. A lot of the time Aaron's just going to fold, but we do have a gut shot. And we can represent flush potentially. Purely because we blocked the nut flush. Oh, fucking hell. 10-6. 10-6 gets there. So pretty much any river card apart from a 10 there, and our bluff probably would have worked. I kind of screwed myself there by not c-betting on the flop, which I meant to do and just didn't. Hey, we got a third table going. People are just throwing stacks around on this one. I realise I'm not talking at the moment, but there's not really anything to talk about. So you just have to bear with me a sec. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, we're in a hand on the 20 NL table. Flop mid pair, which is okay, I guess. We got some backdoors in there as well. There's a little bit of extra help, but I'm not going to bet out on the deuce here. Got plenty of showdown value, and we don't really gain much by betting. It's better to just kind of let him potentially punt. Do lose to an 8 now, or to like 10-9, but I think probably would have made a bet with and with an 8 in it on the turn a lot of the time. There we go. See what you had. Pocket fours, fair enough. Was never going to get value from pocket fours there. I'm just going to throw in a pretty standard bet here. And obviously going to come in for the 4 bet. That's about a good size. Not the best flop in the world for us. I mean, the only hands we can get to fold really are other ace kings, which not going to have very often because we have got ace king ourselves. You could have ace queen, you could have aces, kings, queens. I don't think he's folding jacks or 10s or 9s potentially if he calls a 4 bet with those. So I think best option is just to check fold, basically. Taking it nice and easy this morning, eh? I'm a little bit sore. I did some exercise this morning, so I'm a little bit sore, and it's bit of a struggle to get the energy levels back up again. Well, the devil in me is telling me to jump in another 20 €20 game. I think I'm going to hop into another 20 NL table. I mean, we did well enough playing 20 NL on Thursday, I think it was. Wow. Big action happening here. Yeah, we did well the other day, so I feel like I'm starting to get pretty comfortable playing at 20 NL because I've taken a few shots there and generally speaking seems to go okay. Wow. You got the call. What did you get the call from? Oh, I can't see because I'm not playing on the table. Annoying. Not picked up many hands yet. We had that hand earlier where we 4-bet the ace king pre and just completely bricked on the flop. So at the moment it's just purely a case of trying to make do with what we've got, basically. And we do take down the blinds at least here. We see a min raise from Sebastian. I'm going to call because I'm getting too good of a price, and 9-7 you can make some things happen with. So we do pick up the open ender on turn. I think I'm going to throw a tiny bet out here. Against the call, I'm just going to check. I did have the ace-8 there, which sucks. Meanwhile, we're finally in a hand on our new 20 NL table here with the jacks. And we're going to throw out a pretty clean C bet here. We'll get some folds, we'll get some calls. A lot of the time, I'm not particularly bothered about either at this stage. Obviously, if he raises, then we've got a problem. Of course, I say that, and then he just comes straight in with the raise then, didn't he? Alright, I'll just let it go. I'm not gonna start getting into trouble with middle pair there. Pair of jacks on an ace high board. No need for that, is there? Pick up the 5-7 off here. Probably gonna call at least one, assuming they come in for like a min raise or 2.5x. See what Abraham does. Just folds it out. Not the best hand in the world to defend, but I think you can defend it on occasion. And we pick up the king jack off in the big blind. Gonna raise it up. It's not the best hand in the world to be just flat calling with on the big blind here, and sometimes struggle post flop. So rather win the hand right now if we can. Meanwhile, not a lot's happening with our 5-7 here. I get the feeling that Aaron's probably got some sort of weak ace that doesn't want to bet, but would be quite happy to call. I could be completely like way off here, but we'll see what they got. I'm not obviously not calling a river bet anyway. Wow, they're king fucking 5 off. I thought their range was going to be better than that. That's a good piece of info. Don't really know what that tells me about Aaron just yet. Well, I suppose it tells me that they're a little bit loose on the button. That'll do. That'll do for now. I got confused as to what table I was on then. For some reason, I thought I was on a 4NL table. It's like, why is this person raising fucking 11 big blinds? But no, it's not even 2.5x. It's like 2.1x. It's a good flop. We're going to throw out a little half pot bet, I think. Try and get value from some straight draws and flush draws and that. Or even some like pocket eights and things. I'll certainly look to call this. I'm really worried about deuces on the turn, but they're not going to have deuces often enough. So I think we can throw out another slightly over half pot bet. And having just seen that they raised up the king 5 off, I was about to say it's quite reasonable they could have a 7. I don't think I'm going to c-bet this. They're only really calling with a 7. Or maybe, like I said, a pocket 8s or 9s, but all the draws miss, and we're not going to get value from those. So, or sometimes they just have a better queen, which they don't c-bet on the flop for some reason. Okay, so we're getting a bit of information on Erin here, who seems to be actually I can't loose passive, I guess. Quite happy to come in with the raises and stuff pre-flop, but then post-flop seems to slow down. So I'm gonna call Erin a bit of a loose passive, I think. So far, no one else on this table has done anything to really kind of pique my interest, so just kind of keeping an eye on them for the minute. Well, I got the queen 10 in the big blind here, going to be a call. And that is pretty shocking as far as the flop's concerned, so just gonna back fold. No point trying to get fancy there. Meanwhile, big pot's happening up here. Wow, Abraham comes in for the check shove on the river with king queen. I mean, it had been a pretty slow slow board up to that point. So the pot was only like, I don't know, $3 or €3 rather. Okay, so Abraham likes to mix it up, is what I'm taking from that. It's always worth noting down if someone's liable to do something that is questionable. Because you might forget it in an hour's time. You're still on the same table as them. But yeah, fair play. I admire the balls of it. Fair play. Like, it was a really ballsy move, but I just don't think it was particularly smart, to be honest. I'm just gonna check this back. Like, I've not got a lot of. I've got some showdown equity already, but there are so many hands that these guys are gonna call with that are gonna hit the turn, or potentially the river, that I don't want to start inflating the pot with such a weak holding. The turn was like a 6 or a 7 or maybe even an 8. I might have considered putting some money in, but most of the time we're just going to be letting this go. Yeah. Obviously, Dwayne's range has got loads of 10x and 9x in it, which he'd be looking to like check call, check raise on the flop with. So when you see the lead on the turn for like, you know, 120% pot or whatever. And we're going to be calling against Willie Y here. They're going to have a lot of ace kings and ace queens in this 3-betting range. So it's definitely worth a call, at least with pocket nines. That's a pretty bad flop, so I have to let that go. You may be noticing here that I'm saying I have to let it go a lot, but it's just sometimes it's just the way it is. Like, even against such a small C bet, like, yeah, maybe on occasion he's got like king queen, but not often enough. Meanwhile, we pick up the jacks. On our much higher stakes table. It's crazy that we're playing 2 different stakes and there's literally like one is 5 times the other. It's crazy. But I mean, in true degenerate style, you got to go where the action is. And if the action's a 20 NL, then, well, that's where I'm going. And I've done well at 20 NL, I think. Not so much today, but I have done well at 20 NL. A little half pot bet here. Meanwhile, we flopped a weird 2-pair that just these guys just called and it came around to us. And we take it down. That was quite a good pot to take down, to be fair, given that we had 7-4 fucking offsuit. And it was like quite a big splash the pot amount that was in the middle there. So absolutely laughing. I think we can call with the queen 10 here in position. And we're gonna check this back. They're going to be checking a lot of ace highs that are just going to check call on the flop anyway. Like, it's very rare that we're going to get a jack or a deuce for that matter. You can throw in a bet on the turn now, though we've picked up a little bit of extra equity with the heart. And it might make Nathaniel K here a little bit more nervous about hanging out with me. Meanwhile, I've got ace deuce, the exact same ace deuce suited on both 20 NL tables. We're going to fold this one here against the, well, 3-bet and the 4-bet. And we see a 4-bet in position from Martin G, which we're going to fold to as well. It's one of those hands ace deuce suited. I kind of hate playing it, so I tend to just try and see a cheap flop with it if I can. But if I see any like 3-bet in action or anything like that, I just get out of the way. Because as far as I'm concerned, there is no, there isn't enough equity in it. Martin G coming in with a small c-bet on this flop. Expect Nathaniel K to have some stuff here sometimes. And it looks like he does have some stuff. The question is, Martin, if he's got like an overpair, like queens or kings, like what do you do here? Do you just call or do you jam? You just call and let Nathaniel jam the turn? Or you fold? Fair enough. That's an interesting bet size. Ben just slightly over par. I've got a call with the top pair and the nut straight draw. Spade on the turn isn't great. Not great for my self-esteem at all. Okay, well that makes me a little bit more confident. Meanwhile, we've got trips on the river here. I'm going to come in for a relatively small-ish value bet. Let me get the value. Just going to check the queen back, actually. I mean, it's a pretty good river for us. Obviously, we're losing anyway to queen jack, king queen, and ace queen, all of which you can have. You can even have queen 9, actually. Losing the spades, so I'm not going to be looking to put much money in the middle here. I mean, you could have a jack, I suppose. You could have a king jack, queen jack that might want to call. So I'm going to throw in a very small value bet on the river. Kind of a cheeky one, really. I'm purely trying to get value from a jack, basically, or sometimes maybe a 9 if he's feeling frisky. Meanwhile, we call a 3-bet here. I flop top pair. Really dry board, not really much reason to check raise. Oh, and we got the value with the queens. What do you have? Pocket 7s, wow. This is a pretty uncomfortable turn card. Well, not an uncomfortable turn card. It's an uncomfortable turn bet. Part of the reason why it's so uncomfortable is because we block the queen jack for the nut straight draw, which is what we want him to have here a lot of the time. I think if he comes in for a jam on the river, then we have to fold, because you can still have ace king, you can still have aces, you can still have kings, you can still have king queen, you can have 10s, and especially with the 3-bet pre-flop, I think he knows I've got a king now after I call twice here, and he's going for the full value, so I'm not going to give it to him. So we've had a bit of a tough start, to be honest, in this session. We had a tough start in the last session as well, but this one, it's kind of, instead of one big hand where it's like you're kind of on the fence, and then you make a decision that's not strictly speaking wrong, and it just goes against you. Here, I think I'm making the right decisions. I'm folding in the right places. We're just not hitting our hands, basically. And when you don't hit your hands, like, a lot of time you just have to fold. And I mean, you could argue with the king jack there that maybe I could have called, but I think, I don't think someone's triple barrel bluffing like ace queen or ace jack. I don't think anyone's triple barreling queens or jacks there. Jacks I block anyway. I'm going to throw in a little bluff here on the river. I do block jack 10 and jack 9, so reasonable that I could have a jack here. Yes, we get some value there. Well, I say we get value, we get the bluff through, rather. Yeah, so it's kind of a tough situation to be in. I think we need to 4-bet this. And I think we're going to be 4-bet getting it in. I'm not that worried about Shane having something strong here because they're extremely loose. And I've seen them have a few questionable hands. And that's a bad flop. So we're going to be looking to check this back and hopefully spike an ace or king on the turn. Think for a sec and check. Because when I 4-bet here, like I said, I'm not worried about Shane so much. He could have ace queen and some hands like that, but Leah has almost certainly got an overpair here when they call the when they 3-bet and then call the 4-bet out of position as well. So we're not raising up the ace. The ace. It's not an ace, is it? 7-6 is what I'm trying to say. And we see the 3-bet from Abraham, and I think we're just about getting the right price. Well, with 7-6 suited, you've got kind of 30-ish% against even pocket aces, so definitely worth a call at least. We flop bottom pair, but unfortunately this top part of this board hits the top part of both of their ranges quite well, so punts are not working here. Punts are not working. I'd actually enjoy it if Nick called here just so I can see what he's got basically. We have seen Abraham bluff in a questionable position earlier, but I don't think he's bluffing on this type of board. Really, really connected. Wow, I saw an all in by here then. Damn. Damn. So this guy check called 3 streets with ace high. Pretty dry board here. We can throw out a big c-bet and got a lot of folds. Nice. So a6 suited, oh it's a6 off rather. We're gonna throw a little bet in and look to let it go. If we see a 3-bet, we do see a call though, and we flop trips. Trips is a good thing to flop. We're just going to check this. We're going to be checking almost all our range here because, you know, obviously it's hard for Willie to have anything here. We can throw out a little c-bet on the turn now, little delayed c-bet when we see the queen hit, because it stands to reason he could have a queen. Meanwhile, we call on the button here with the king 10 off. And these guys look like they're going to go to town on each other, so we can leave that alone. And unfortunately, we hit our pair on the turn here, but all the draws in the world come in, so I fully expect Martin to bet at this, and we're going to have to let it go because we just don't have enough equity in any sense. And we see Jack 8 all in against Queen 5 off. Okay. And that was pre as well. Do I get a walk then? Hey. Gotta love getting a walk. So we're down about a buy-in at the moment, I think, from our multiple hands of just basically having to fold either pre-flop or post-flop, mostly post-flop, where we've just not got enough strength to continue. It's one of those weird things because it feels like you're getting run over a little bit, but you're actually not. You're folding in the right place to fold. But yeah, when you're playing at a slightly higher state than you used to, and you're folding a lot, it does have that kind of feeling that, oh, maybe I'm getting run over, but we will be going with it if Frank decides to shove here. After seeing him shove Queen 5 off for 100 bigs a minute ago, definitely not folding to a shove. Here, perfect example. So I raised, they call in the small blind, we flop absolutely nothing, and they come out with a lead. You can't do anything, you just got to fold. We're going to come in for a little c-bet here. A slightly bigger c-bet down there. Against the 9 on the turn, we're just going to check it. They're going to have a lot of King 10, King 9, 10, 9, even 9, 8 sometimes. And I'm going to check the ace on the river as well. He's going to have a king a lot of the time. Sometimes you might have like a Queen 10. But yeah, he's going to have a king a lot, so another sucky situation, really. Let's see if we can recoup a bit of that with the King 7 here. It's a really weird hand to have, actually, in this spot, because no one ever really thinks you're going to have a 7 with a king kicker. They either think you're going to have like a7 or like 9-7. Some solace to take from this, what I've got to say is that obviously because we're playing run it once, we have already accrued like quite a lot of rake back this week from playing a few 20 NL sessions. So you've got to take that as a positive, even though we're currently down at the moment. We're up for the week. Are we still up for the week? We're still just about still up for the week. Yeah, despite the fact that we're currently down, obviously the session's not over yet. We started off down in our session the other day and ended up clawing back and finishing up like 2 and a bit buy-ins at 20 NL as well, I should stress. And obviously the little bit of rake back that we'll get as well will help. Just quite happy for Nia to keep betting into me here. I don't think I'm going to get much out of raising. I think they're just going to call all of their overpairs and boats and trip 9s and stuff and fold everything else. So I'm better off really just calling, keeping the pot small for one. Yeah, and just giving them the opportunity to bluff. Meanwhile, we finally pick up some sort of hand at 20 NL. Pick up the ladies. The very last hand we played on our session on Thursday was with pocket queens, and we played it too passively, and because of that ended up losing post flop around about 70 big blinds, something like that. It was a really bad way to end the day, actually, given that we'd played really fucking well up until that point. And it was that whole thing of, right, this is going to be the last hand now, so I don't want to tank a stack off. And then in taking that approach, I ended up self-fulfilling my own prophecy there. Don't you love it? You wait all session for aces, and then everyone folds to you. If we can do something better with the king queen. We check the jack 5 in the big blind. Hit bottom pair on the flop. I'm just going to let this go, because whilst we do sometimes pick up some money, like against these guys who can have various Queen X and King X, there's just no point in flogging a dead horse here. We've picked up aces again on the other table, and this time we're looking a little bit better. Coming for a pretty standard 4-bet size, I think. And we'll also 4-bet in the ace king down here. That's an interesting flop, to say the least. I think the best option is to c-bet relatively small with a view to potentially jam turn. A lot of the time we're going to just get folds there as well, but I think if he's got like pocket kings with the king of spades, he's going to call that on the flop a lot of the time. That was a nice pot to win anyway. Nia here coming in with the raise, and we are going to 3-bet on the button here, and we take it down. We also took down the hand a minute ago where we 4-bet again. And now we pick up the aces on this table. Better solid, well, getting aces everywhere. And we flop top set again here. I think we can check this maybe. Yeah, let's check it. It's a pretty dry board, so we're going to get too many folds a lot of the time. And we do get nothing but folds over here with the aces. This is kind of a weird bet. I don't really know what this means, so for that reason I'm just going to call. We lose the king queen and that's it. But Kelly P could be doing this with ace 10, jack 10. Obviously we block the ace 10, but I think they have plenty of jack 10 in their range. So we're going to raise it up. And meanwhile we're going to call with our king 9 on the river. It's just check down the whole way. And he's checked down top pair on the flop for some reason. Doesn't make any sense to me, but there we are. And yeah, Kelly P folded to our raise on the river there with the top set. So I think we got more value out of the hand by slow playing the aces there. I really find it odd, actually, that on Run It Once, there never seems to be anyone playing 10 NL. It's all either 4 NL or 20 NL, and occasionally 50 NL, but there's no one ever playing at 10. Doesn't make any sense. We're going to throw out a little bet here, a little probing bet on the turn. We do have effectively the nut straight draw. Nut gut shot. Not a lot else, granted, but we also have an overcard as well to the board. And sometimes we'll just be able to get some folds there. Waiting for Kenny to make his mind up on what he wants to do here. Going to be calling the Queen Jack off here. This says I'm type passive, and that's largely because this geezer is very loose aggressive on my right here, so he's playing loads of hands and raising them all. So a lot of the time, all I have to do is just call on the button with hands that I would normally be raising on the button or raising on the in the cutoff. But hands that aren't quite good enough to 3-bet with. Pick up the King Queen suited, going to raise it up. This is a really weird donk bet. Like, this is really weird. It's making me scared of pocket deuces. The deuce on the turn makes me less scared of pocket deuces. It does make me think possibly a draw as well. Maybe Queen 9, but we block Queen 9. Maybe pocket 9s, but I don't think you'd be donk betting pocket 9s. What the fuck? This is just weird. Like, I haven't got a clue what Kenny's got here. Like I said, maybe pocket deuces was the first thought, but that's so unlikely now. Maybe Queen 9. Otherwise, I'm thinking draws. This really doesn't make any sense, so I'm going to call here. See what the river comes. The Jack is not the best card in the world, and we're just going to check this, but I've no idea what Kenny's got. I can only assume like a Jack 10 of diamonds or something like that. Or King Jack. Okay, so they did have a draw. It just was a lot weaker than what I thought it was. That's so weird though. That's such a weird line to take. Call King Jack off in big blind. Oh, actually, it was a small blind, wasn't it? Bonk bet pot on Queen 9 deuce. Check. Raise to turn small. Like that is a weird hand, like. But I mean, my logic was kind of right, I guess. Then, in that my primary kind of thought was draw, which is obviously why I called on the turn and whatnot. Sebastian's just on a mad one down here again. Yeah, so my primary thought was this looks like a draw. Why would you? Or bottom set, which people do that a lot with as well. Pocket queens he almost never has because we block the queen. Queen 9 very rare as well because we block the queen. Pocket 9s maybe, but people generally like to 3-bet those. Or they like to kind of check raise on the flop or something like that. So I thought, well, pocket deuces might make sense. And then when the deuce hits the turn, you just can't, you can't fold based on them, based on thinking that they have, the one combination of cards that you expect they could have that'll beat you. And the only kind of logical conclusion to come to then is some sort of draw. Yeah, we're picking up a lot of info on these guys, fair play. I was going to raise up the ace queen off here. Quite happy with the fold there. Always nice to just get an easy fold. Wow, missed a hand there. Cole had aces. Gonna watch this hand back. See what happened between these two guys. The Cole raised up his standard amount with aces, as you'd expect him to do. We see a call from Jack 5 suited. Cole c-bets about half pot. Call is pretty standard. C-bets pretty big on the turn. Okay, well that's interesting. Nick decided to represent the 7 on the river. I think Cole played his hand pretty much perfectly. Meanwhile, we've got decisions to make here. But Nick called 2 streets with flush draw. Donk bet. Missed the river. This is queer. This is very queer. I think I'm going to fold. Yeah, I think I'm folding that. It's a really weird kind of spot, I think. Obviously not folding my trip aces here. Hoping for like a 6 of diamonds on the river or something like that. Just any boat on the river is good, basically. You don't get the boat. I think we need to call this. I'm not particularly happy about it, but it's hard for him to have an ace. I don't think he'd be c-betting 3 times without one, maybe. But yeah, I think I need to call. He could potentially have a diamond as well, but we've seen him be quite aggressive with nothing but a draw before. So I'm not particularly happy about it, but hey, there we go. So Kenny likes to bluff, is what we can say. C-bet 3 streets, king queen on, what was it, a7-9. Good. That was good. Good little thing there. Just gonna fold this against Nicholas. So we've got a few guys here that seem to be enjoying kind of going for it, you know what I mean? Double checking how much about 60% pot, okay. Meanwhile, raising up the 9-7 suited. We're still, like, for sure, we're still down for the day, but a couple of hands against Kenny V here has certainly sewn up the wound a little bit, you know? Not got many hands going on at the minute. Yeah, so we're only down about half a buy-in on at 20 NL now. We were down about a buy-in and a half at one point, so we've clawed back about a buy-in. And we've picked up hands everywhere, really. I'm just going to call against Cole. He's so aggressive that we can just look to try and hit a hand. And then and play post-flop. Just going to come in for a big overbet here, or big bet rather. Main reason for that is that we can bet small and get the same amount of folds, but we're not looking for folds, we're looking for value. So whatever he's calling there on the flop, he's going to call big and he's going to call small. There's not really an in-between amount. Just going to try and get a little bit of cheeky value from our friend Cole here. See if he calls with like a queen 10 or something, or even a jack 10, something like that. And they just fold it out, that's fine as well. Still happy to get the chips, get the money. Currently in the folding mode at the moment. And he's taking his sweet time. Tag Cole as orange. And we're going to let go the ace deuce off. It's just not strong enough to be calling out of position with, and not really strong enough to be 3-betting out of position with, so let it go there. I wonder what my oh, I've almost hit my points amount for the week. I was going to have a look actually while I'm here, and this might be useful for you guys too. Have a look at this. Oh, it's not this actually. There's a new promotion that Run It Once are going to be doing next week. Here we go. Leaderboard booster. So I'll bring this into a window for you guys so you can have a look. Well, I think this is a really good fucking reward structure actually that they're going to bring in next week. It'll only be for the week, I'm sure, but fuck this fucking guy might. I've got some hands. Okay. So basically players are going to earn, let me get this on in window view. So you've got leaderboard scores here, which is great. Everyone likes a leaderboard, works in the normal way. You know, if you come first, you get this, second, you come that, blah, 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 right? What's interesting me though is this bit. So even if you don't make the leaderboard, you don't make the top 3, so you don't finish in one of these positions, run it once is still going to pay you these amounts based on these points, which is like really fucking good as far as I'm concerned. So I was looking at my points then to see, like, I don't know if it's going to work in the same way as these points for your rewards and that, but it could do. And if it does, I might be looking for the that 250 or maybe even the 1,000, depends how the points work. I think it'll be easier to work out once you've played for a day or two and you can see exactly how it's working. But if it does work in the same way as these points here, then I've got, 800 or so points from playing literally this week 2 sessions at 20 NL and 4 NL, like mixed in together. So imagine I play. So imagine this now, that these points are calculated in the same way. Imagine I play 20 NL for, like, I don't know, nothing but 20 NL. I play it for like 5 days or something like that. A couple of hours a day. I think that's achievable. But this is all assuming that it earned in the same way. So this says 1 point generated for 1 euro of rake, and I don't think somehow that's how the cash rewards, how these points are earned. I'll find out now for you. Meanwhile, everyone's decided to fucking bail on this table, and I'm now heads up against Josephine, who's just joined. Yeah, everyone's gone. It's me and Josephine. Obviously, got a call at least with an ace when you're heads up, and that is not the best situation to be in, to be honest. Meanwhile, against Nathaniel K here, we're gonna 4-bet our ace queen. I don't actually want to see a call here. I'm doing this to try and get a fold pre-flop. I don't want to see a call or a 5-bet. And we do get the fold. Excellent. Always a good thing to try and do with ace queen is try and win your hands pre-flop, because your hands, generally speaking, are not as, well, your chances post-flop aren't great, like even if you hit your hand a lot of the time. Unfortunately, we're a little bit card dead against Josephine, and we're now heads up on both tables, 20 NL. Hopefully some more people will join in a sec. I mean, it's just trash. Go on, we can call with 8-6. And we do pick up a gut shot on the flop and an open ender on the turn, so we're going to bet at this pretty strongly. Take it down. Meanwhile, this is a really weird board here. We've actually got a straight flush draw somehow. And then with the king on the river, we're just going to send a bet out and see if we can get value from a king, but it's not going to happen a lot of time. Got to raise the ace, and we need to call with a pretty suited situation here. And I don't really like calling, and I don't really like raising either. So I think I'm going to go with a raise. Go with a small raise. I couldn't get the fucking thing to work then. Try and win the pot there, because my 6-9 is just not very strong, really. It needs like a fair bit of protection, and I think it's better to just try and win the hand right there, then and there. There's so many overcards that can come and spoil my day, spoil my good fun. Okay, so alright, this makes a lot more sense now. So the points that you earn for your Run It Once Diamond awards, which is this here, are different to the points that you'll earn next week in this leaderboard. So you get 1 point in your normal everyday awards for every 5 cents of rake. But in this promotion that they're doing next week, you get 1 point for every euro of rake. So it's quite a big difference, actually. I mean, it's pretty clear what I'm doing here. I'm purely just going for value bets against some weaker hands like pocket fives and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we don't get the value there. We called with the ace 4 here, and we flopped pocket fours. Flopped a set of fours rather here. We're just going to come in for a big bet. It's a really connected board, so we're going to get a lot of hands to call us here. We call a c-bet with the ace 4 here. The turn's not the best card in the world, actually. He's going to c-bet a lot of hands that have a 10 in them, so I'll let that go. And I'm playing almost 3 games of heads up. Well, I am playing 3 games of heads up and 1 game of 3-handed now. I mean, talk about diversifying your schedule. Like, no, and one of them's just ended because the other player left. I've never really studied much heads up play, so this is kind of interesting territory for me. I'm playing heads up a lot more now that I'm playing on Run It Once, and people start leaving the games, and you're left with like no one left. So we hit the trips here, and we hit top pair here. And I think the right approach is probably going to be to play both of them pretty slowly. I mean, we've got the issue here of potentially Josephine having a better ace than us, or even having like a king 10. Obviously, we're not folding just yet, though. The king on the river is actually a really shitty card. Because now her random 10x. Oh, okay, they had a weak ace as well. Now my hope here is that Matthew has decided that I'm going to check raise him with a flush on the river, and hopefully just lets it go. Unfortunately, they had the better queen than us. So Devin snap donk bet the pot on this board and has checked the turn. So I don't really know what they've got or what they're doing, but just gonna let them do something stupid like that. And this is the thing, guys, like a lot of the time you don't have to do any work, if that makes sense, to pick up pots and stuff like that, because a lot of the time people are just gonna give you the money. And as one table goes heads up, another one, or another two actually, stop being heads up. I much prefer playing ring games to heads up, just because I know what I'm doing a bit more. It's easier to kind of figure out people's ranges and stuff. They're raising into 6 people versus, you know, 1. I don't always do this with the ace-9 suited. Sometimes I will just flat, but as well as these a new player to the table, I want to kind of put a little bit of pressure on just to see what the reaction is early on. Meanwhile, ace queen and ace jack go toe to toe on multiple streets and somehow make it to a river. I mean, fair enough, guys, fair enough. Who am I to argue with you? It's a pretty nothing flop. It's a weird donk bet. This is. Be doing this with 3s, 4s, flush draws. So I think I'm going to raise it up just to try and put some pressure on the flush draws. It's similar to the hand I had. I think it was against Cole. No, it wasn't. It was against someone else earlier, where they did a similar thing and they ended up having a draw. I'm just going to check this, and that's an awful fucking river card, that, isn't it? Yeah, I need to fold this now. I mean, it sucks, but I think I was ahead on the flop, so I think my raise was good. But I think they picked up the flush either on the turn or certainly on the river. And this is a pretty ugly situation. The couple of draws that get there or make a pair now. I don't think I'm going to get Taylor off their hand. Ace 4, what? I thought you'd give me a little bit more credit than that. We pick up a gut shot on the turn. We're going to put a little bet out here. Try and take the pot down now, but we've got some equity if Taylor decides to call. And we do take it down. Pick up the nut flush draw on the turn against Wesley. And we're going to throw out a little bet here. Try and take the pot down now, but again, we've got some outs. Does decide to call, she does. 10's actually a really bad card. A lot of the non-made hands that he's got are going to be hands like 10-8, King 10, Jack 10, King Jack. You know, the 10 just kind of completes everything for him. And I don't think we're getting a queen to fold ever. We're not really ever getting a 9 to fold either, I don't think so. Wow. Okay. Didn't expect that. I'm gonna need to look at the bloody hand again, aren't I? What's the board? Queen 9, 7, 3, 10. Queen 9, 7, 3, 10. Oh, fucking hate short-handed play. I'm never sure if my ranges are right, because you've got to loosen up your ranges when you're short-handed, but I'm never quite sure if I've done it right. It's usually a lot easier playing in like tournaments or certain goes, because when you get to the short-handed phase, usually everyone's pretty short-stacked and you can just play a bit of a shove and fold game, which is obviously a little bit easier to kind of figure out and quantify and what have you. Well, these guys are going at it against each other. Be interesting to see a shove here. Feel like Wesley's got it in his arsenal. Don't really know a lot about him apart from that one hand just then. Meanwhile, on our low stakes table, we've flopped trips in a weird kind of spot. I'm gonna throw a little bet out, and we pick up the ace king, and we take it down with 3-bet. And we take it down. I'm gonna 3-bet my king jack's offsuit here. It likes to get folds pre-flop if it can, because it doesn't play brilliantly post-flop. It plays okay, so not terrible. We're gonna look to call with the 3-5 suited here. One of those sneaky hands that you can pick some stuff up with that people just don't expect. I'm gonna check this again, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna check down to showdown if I can. See a small bet. A lot of the time this is just gonna be nothing. Sometimes it'll be a 6 or a king or a 7 or something like that, but I think we can call. Yeah, it is a 6. Maybe I should have bet the turn there. That might be a mistake. There. Pick up the aces. Hopefully we can get some action. We can't, unfortunately. I'm gonna raise up the king 9 off. I'm gonna call the deuces, try and flop a set. And I think, have you ever seen a worse flop for pocket deuces? I haven't. And we're gonna c-bet half pot here against Wesley, try and take it down, which we do. Pocket 10 is gonna increase our raise size a little bit. I'll throw a little bet out with the 5. And just going to check against the ace. Yeah. I don't expect to be ahead a great deal of the time. Meanwhile, ace king off. It's going to be a raise and a 4-bet if we see a 3-bet. Or we just see a fold. I'm surprised at how kind of passive these guys are playing. I mean, just from picking up the blinds, I've made, you know, like 10 big blinds, maybe 20. Oh, I misclicked here. I meant to raise 2.5x, but I accidentally min raised. I guess the job done, I guess. And now we're gonna throw in a pretty standard C bet with our top pair, top kicker. And we're gonna do the same again. Or we're gonna look to do the same again at least. It's gonna be a ton of draws that Josephine's gonna be calling with. Worst 10s, some 9x. And the ace on the river is a really good card for us. Now we're hoping they've got like ace 4, ace 9, something like that. And I'm going to go for a nice kind of size value bet here. They've got the same fucking hand. Brilliant. Just one time. Why can't they have fucking ace 9 or something? How big was the pot? It was like a €12.50 pot there. That could have came our way if we'd made different life choices. To be fair, I don't think there was anything that was ever going to change the outcome then. Speaking of outcomes though, hopefully going to get a good outcome here. And here. And we get folds in both spots. Okay guys, I'm just going to sit out the tables in just a second here. Just going to pop to the toilet and I'll be back in a sec, just after I've played these hands. I think we need to come in for a pretty sizable C-bet here. It's going to have a bunch of draws, some 10x and the like. We don't want to be given too cheap of a decision to them. Wait, we take it down. Good shit, my friends. Good shit. These two are going ham at each other. Devin's looking for some value, I think. I think Devin might have a pair. What the fuck? Oh man, you got to get a note on you. C-bet 3 streets, 5 high. Tells you all you need to know, doesn't it, really? Right, I'll be back in just a second, guys. I just need to pop to the toilet a sec, so don't go anywhere, and I'll be right back. What's up, guys? Thanks for your patience. I went to the toilet and then I realised I had no drinks here as well, so meanwhile we seem to have lost our 4NL heads up table, so I'm just going to try and get back into another table somewhere. But yeah, at the moment I think we're playing okay today, to be honest. I think I'm still down at the moment. Am I? Yeah, oh, what? Hang on, what? Oh, that's because I've got these open as well. So that's, yeah, so I'm still down about half a buy-in, I think. Wow, they had a big hand. Wesley coming in with a bluff again. Oh, I can't rewatch it. I think you check raised. River with missed draw. I think that's what happened, but feel free to correct me, guys. Soslo. So I realise you have no context for what I'm saying Sod's Law to, but like almost everyone that was in the in the viewership dropped off. Literally, it must have been about 3 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds before I came back. I've got the stream open on the other side here. Yeah, go on, we'll call that. Looking to hit 6, 7, or a heart. And I think we're gonna put a little bit of a, yeah, I'm gonna bet a little half pot. Wesley does like to call, does like to get frisky, but I'm hoping they just won't bother. They got 3s, which is a reasonable hand to call with anyway, to be fair. Okay, rule number 1, don't bluff Wesley. Because Wesley doesn't like to fold. Ever. And hopefully we can flop a set against Wesley, and given that Wesley doesn't like folding, yeah, it's really loose, kind of loose passive in a weird way. Loose passive, but also loose aggressive at the same time. I'm gonna check my 3s down and hope he's got like fucking 7-5 off or something. Meanwhile, we called in the big blind with Queen 10. I'm gonna throw a little value bet out, try and get called by some random diamond hand. I'm actually gonna call this. I can't think of many hands that you wouldn't have bet on the flop or turn, for that matter. Okay. I can't work Wesley out at the minute, in case you can't tell. That's no good to me, mate. That's no good to me. Jack 10 off in the big blind will probably end up being it will probably end up being a call, which it does. And completely brick the flop, so we're just going to let it go. Meanwhile, we 3-bet the ace 10 off, trying to get folds, but we don't. And so a really weird flop, a really weird bet on the flop as well. I don't believe for a second that he's doing this with a king, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise it up now. If he comes over the top or if he calls, then I'm just giving up the hand. But I feel like we'll get a fold a lot of the time, yeah. People do like to do that sometimes on really dry boards. They'll just throw out a donk bet and expect you to fold. Wow. What the fuck? Did that save? It did save. I mean, the dream is to just get... Nice one, Finn. Thanks for the cheer, mate. Really appreciate it. 100 as well. I read that wrong at first. First of all, it was 10. Thanks for the 100 bits, dude. Always a big supporter of the stream you are, my friend. How was your grinding and sessions, etc. been going recently? Been going well, been going bad, indifferent, break even? I think we're going to come in for the 4-bet here. 4-bet fold, basically. Yeah, 4-bet and we get the fold. That's funny. That's like, I joke in the stream, man, but it's not a case of her letting me stream. She's quite happy for me to stream because it means that she can binge shitty fucking TV dramas from like 8 years ago that she used to watch when she was when she was a teenager still. Which is literally what she's doing downstairs right now. She's watching Vampire Diaries, which, to be fair, in all fairness, I've watched a little bit with her, as you do, and it's not as bad as I originally thought, but it's still very much geared towards a certain gender, let's say. I think, but no, it's all good. It helps, like, as in a weird way, it helps keep me kind of, yes, there we go. It helps kind of let me know that I'm doing the right things as well. Like, if I've got people like you, throwing in a cheer, or if you've got, or if I've got people subscribing or whatever like that, it lets me know that I'm doing things right. And that I'm providing something that is valuable to people. But obviously, if I was to, let's say I sat here for a month and no one cheered, no one subscribed, no one follows or whatever, like, that tells me that I'm the problem there. Like, clearly that I'm not doing what I should be to provide essentially what is a service. It's just a different kind of service. I'm gonna call with the ace-10 suited here. It's not the best hand in the world to be calling with, but we've got position. His 3-bet wasn't that big either, and we do pick up the nut flush draw with the two over cards. I'm going to check it back, giving myself the best opportunity to actually hit my hand. And to keep the spot small at the moment while we don't have any showdown equity. I'm going to throw out a little bet here just to probe and see if we can get a fold from maybe another ace-high hand. We don't get the fold, but we do get the nut flush on the river. Now we need to go for some value. Yeah, I think that's about right. Hopefully he's got like king queen of diamonds here. Well, we got the call anyway, and I think that was good value for my money there. He did have, fuck me. He called on the river with ace queen high. What? Shit, man. Good work, Finn. Good work, my friend. How far are you off from 150? Because I'm sure you said before that you were going to go move up to 5NL once you get to 150. Am I right there? If you're at like 130, 140, you could probably move up now. Like, I know you want to keep the discipline and stuff, but you could do something similar to what I'm doing here. So you've got one of one stake and one of another stake if you're playing multiple tables. You normally play 4 tables 2NL, then maybe do 3 tables 2NL and 1 table of 5NL, just so you're not going straight from, right, I only play 2NL and now I only play 5NL. It gives you a little bit of a transition period where you can figure out some stuff about 5NL before you've properly moved up, if you know what I mean. But it might be worth doing that. See if we can get called by an ace high or something here. Wow. I mean, I'm guessing this person's got a 6 and is just hoping that I've got a 4 and can't fold, but it's not happening, mate. Sorry. Sozzles. And it's kind of a weird flop, really. I block the draws that I want him to have and be calling with, but at the same time, I think I still need to put a bet out. Fuck. Alright, we're playing that game now, are we? We're playing the push shot, the fucking push fold game. This'll confirm it now. Meanwhile, we've got a weird kind of third pair here. Hey, we take it down. Nice. I really want to like flop trips or something like that. And do his little shoving tactic. That'd be the funniest fucking shit. Oh, 142. Yeah, so next time you play Finn, like, here's my advice. If you normally play, I'm using 4 tables as an example, at 2NL, on whatever site it is that you play on, then cut that down to 3 tables and play 1 table of 5NL, just so you can get, like, it's a weird thing as well, like seeing the different amounts on the screen as well. Like, I don't know if you use poker styles or party poker where they can, you can display everything as big blinds, but I tend not to. I tend to just keep it as whatever the cash amount is. And like seeing this amount here versus this amount here is a really different. You've got to change your mindset a little bit. You've got to trick your brain into not seeing the money, if that makes sense. And make it so that it only sees the money in relation to whatever the stake it is that you're playing. Because you're playing 2NL at the moment. Someone was to 3-bet to 45 cents pre-flop. You're looking at that and you're going, oh fucking hell, that's like 22 bigs. Like, holy fuck, that's a massive raise. But that's a standard 3-bet size at 5NL. So you need to kind of get used to seeing the numbers and getting used to the different kind of calculations that you have to do as well, because obviously you need to work out your pot odds and stuff like that differently depending on what the physical number in the middle is. So yeah, give it a shot and let me know how it goes. But in terms of like strategically, what I'd say is when you're shot taking, just play super straightforward. Like don't bother trying to like do any fancy bluffs, or I mean that's a good rule of thumb for microstakes anyway. Yeah, but don't try any like fancy bluffs and shit like that. Just play really fucking straightforward, and see how it goes. See, I was worried about this. I'm gonna call on the river. Ah, you fucker. I thought he might have been just trying to run me over and, you know, use the diamond as a scare card, but there we are. Clearly I know nothing about strategy, so don't fucking listen to me. Don't listen to me. See, this is a spot where if he jams, I'm fucking calling. Yeah, I'm just going with it here. If you've got a set, then so be it. He doesn't have a set, guys. That's literally that's what I was waiting for with this guy. I thought eventually he's just gonna fucking spunk it in there with jack shit. I need to very aggressive. Do you know what I haven't watched in a long time? Rounders. The primo #1 fucking poker movie of all time. I haven't watched it in a really long while. I fucking love that film. Like even if I wasn't into poker, I would really enjoy that film. I got the I showed it to my girlfriend a few years ago now, and like she's not into poker or anything, but she said after watching that film, she was like, I can understand why people would want to go out and play poker straight away after watching this film if they were like so inclined. Because it's like as kind of gritty and dirty as it is, it's also shows kind of an excitement element. Like think about when Ed Norton is saying to Matt Damon about like he's like, do you know what I want? I want to take money off rich fucking tourists who don't know what the fuck they're doing. I want to build stacks and stacks of chips, check raising them on the river, and you know, he just goes through that whole spiel. And like, if you're ever someone that's taken a break from the game for a little while, and then someone comes at you and says that, the first thing you're gonna say in response is, "Let's go and play some fucking cards." And flop a set. Alright, we don't flop a set. It's highly likely that he's got a queen here, but we got a call. Highly unlikely, sorry. I don't think he's got it, guys. I think he's trying to bully me. I don't think he's got it. He didn't have it. He had a fucking 4. And he's left the table. God, that is one of the most satisfying feelings when you play, when you stack someone twice and then they leave. They just rage quit. Oh, no, that was good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that little heads up match. It was a bit tricky figuring out what he was doing at first, and then we got there in the end, and I think that now actually I think that takes me, yeah, so I'm pretty much break even today now after that. But a really tough start earlier, just bricking every single flop and every turn and every river, like nothing was hitting. But now we've fought our way back a bit, and we're currently break even. I've also earned myself a bit of rate back as well, both from the Run It Once Splash the Pot and from their weekly cash rewards. So I got like €7 coming my way at least, but it'll probably be, I'll probably make it to the 10 by the end of the day, or hopefully anyway. And I think I'm going to join another... Well, I'm going to see if I can jump into another 4NL table first and foremost. I should be able to, because it says there's players online, like, waiting for a game. I don't know why it wouldn't let me. It's not the best turn in the world. Well, that's not the best flop in the world. We're just going to check it down. And that's not the best turn in the world either. And I think we're going to check this also. See if we can get Wesley to do something stupid. We've got to call the river. And hopefully he doesn't have an ace or a king. He does have an ace. Okay. Well, we saved ourselves some money by not, you know, by not leading there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into another 20 NL table here. Against Brad and Juliet. Cheers, Finn. Yeah, I agree. It's like it's one of those spots where like you feel like it's either going to be a really smart decision or a really dumb decision, if you know what I mean. Like when I click the all in button there, I was thinking like, am I just being an idiot here? Like, is this a really fucking dumb move? Shoving all in against this guy here. Like, does he just have a queen or aces or some shit like that? But sometimes you just got to go with your gut on it, and then sometimes going with your gut will pay off. Like I went with my gut a couple of hands before that with him, where he hit the nut flush on the river, and I was like, do you know what? I just don't feel like he has the nut flush here. I didn't feel like he had a flush at all. I felt like he was just trying to run me over. Which it turns out he was, just not in that particular hand. We got a walk. We're gonna call the pocket fives here. I don't really know anything about these two players, so I don't want to start throwing in 3-bets with weak pocket pairs just yet. I want to try and keep some pots, keep the pots small, unless I, you know, hit a monster. Speaking of which, Cole over here just took down a pretty big pot. Check. When check on the river, he had ace queen, and the other guy had ace 5. Donald C had ace 5 and... Okay. Meanwhile, splash the pot amount in here of $1, or I keep saying fucking dollars because obviously I've been playing on Party Poker and Poker Stars and 888 and all the other poker sites for years that all work in dollars. So switching to euros is just weird. So just disclaimer, like if I'm saying dollars, I mean euros. I'm just getting confused with what I'm used to thinking in my head. Still can't get into a 4NL game at the moment. I'm just waiting at these 3 tables. And there's one table going that's got 6 players on it, so I can't kind of get in another way. Is there another way to... Is there a way to do a different view on here? Shift this other way a sec. I don't think there is, actually. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we're still around about break even today. As I said earlier, it had a really tough kind of start. Where we were down about a buy-in and a half, I think, at 20 NL. Despite playing a mix of 20 NL and 4 NL at the same time. And yeah, it's been a hard road back, but fought our way back. Just showing you a hand that happened on a different table here. I wasn't involved in it, but it's kind of an interesting hand from a play perspective. I raised up my king jack and folded to the rather sizable raise. See a 4-bet from Wesley here. William decides to call the 4-bet out of position. Check calls the ace high flop. And then check calls all in on the turn. You had ace 10 suited. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think William was a little bit loosey-goosey there. What do you think? The 3-bet I think is fine. But then calling ace 10 suited out of position. Hold on, we got hands here. We got hands. But yeah, he called the 3-bet out of position. Then check calls a dry ace high flop. Fucking work. Fucking just work. You may as well see the note that I'm writing here because I'm basically dictating it. I'm going to change the wording on it though. For my own sakes, more than anything else. Because to me, that line that William T took here is really fucking loose. And a bit stationy. But I'm even going to write a bit station-y. Station-y isn't a word, I realise. Because like when Wesley shoves the turn after 4-betting pre and getting a call on a dry ace high flop, like, all right, we've tagged Wesley as a bit of a nutter, but is he really gonna go with like pocket kings there? Like, no, of course he's not. It's fucking, why would he? Juliet come into play. Just fucking over betting a fairly dry board. I'm still trying to get into one of these 4NL tables here. And just, it doesn't want to let me in. Despite the fact there's only 3 players currently. Oh, hang on. Am I the 3 players? Is that what's happening? Am I all 3 of the players that are trying to get a seat at 4NL at the moment? We'll see now. I've just left them. Just going to check this back. We're going to hit a spade a lot of time and give us a decent enough flush. And I think I'm going to check the turn as well. There aren't really any river cards that worry me. And this person may be inclined to call a small river bet. I mean small. With like a 7 of spades or something like that. No, I'm going to go with 80 actually. I just want to make it super, super appealing for them to call with something worse. And we do get a call. We get a call from a pair of kings. So the small size really helped there because they didn't think we had a flush at all. And I was the only person waiting at 4NL to try and get into a table. So there that is. I'm going to call the pocket threes here against Juliet. Going to try and flop a set. I'm going to try and stack someone. Excuse me there if you heard me burp. I'm drinking fizzy drink. I mean, Juliet took a sweet time there. Thought about it. I think I'm going to throw in a little probing bet here. Or half pot probe. To be fair, that Juliet's going to miss this board quite a bit. Quite a bit of the time, I think. It definitely fits in my range quite well. And against the raise, obviously, we're just folding. We're not going to fuck about there. Apparently, I'm very loose aggressive. What do you think, guys? Am I very loose aggressive? I don't think I am. No, I just checked down fucking ace 10 to the river to a showdown. Can certainly 3-bet king queen here as well, but against William T, who's just essentially a bit of a calling station, I just kind of want to see a cheap flop, make a hand, and then start firing. That's kind of my strategy against him. I don't have much reason to do anything else. It's either just gonna be a station or start betting into me when I've got better hand. I'd rather just take that line, to be honest. Pocket tens in the small blind. We can call, we can 3-bet. I'm going to throw a 3-bet here. I don't want to be just calling too often in the blinds here. I want to play back at these guys some of the time as well. Meanwhile, also playing it back against Donald C here with the ace king. And we got king queen here. We do take it down with the tens as well, which is a nice nice little pickup. Half-sized anal probe, yeah, exactly. Everyone's favorite kind of anal probe. You don't want the full-size anal probe because that's just going to hurt, you know. But a little half-sized anal probe, and you're good. You're living your best life, you know. I'm just going to check this down now. My c-bet there was just to try and get him off hands like ace-jack and the like. But against the call, it's going to be a queen a lot of the time. It might be jacks, tens some of the time. I don't think it's nines or eights very often at all. But basically, I don't think he's folding to anything that I'm going to bet. So, or sevens then. I mean, you might have folded sevens, but why do that when you've got aces on another table? Just going to play really straightforward against William here, who we've tagged as a bit of a station and decides not to call us. Every fucking time, guys, innit? You tag someone as a station, then when you pick up an actual hand, they're not interested. Okay. And we're going to throw out, yeah, about half pot as well, right? And we get the fold. Nice. We've checked the showdown here with our 7-5 and can't get ahead of the king queen, or king 9 even. We pick up an open ender with our pocket sixes here. And we take it down. Meanwhile, I'm being awfully cheeky here with 7-6 offsuit, or 7-6 suited rather. I don't know why I said offsuit. It's not offsuit at all. I don't expect Juliet to have an ace. I don't think Juliet expects me to have an ace very often, but they went check flop and turn, so I don't think they have a jack. I think they might have just had some sort of draw, or possibly a low pocket pair. So they do have the jack, unfortunately. I don't know if maybe I should have bet the flop on there and made it a little bit more believable that I could have had an ace. And this is just horrendous. Horrendous. So I think Juliet is... What the fuck is Juliet doing? I don't think we should be betting here, because a lot of the time our queen high will just be good and it'll just win. Oh, we both had queen high. Brilliant. So we've taken a bit of a knock in the last kind of 10 minutes or so. We were around about even after clawing back our losses from the start of the session, where we were just bricking every hand. Every 3-bet, every 4-bet we were making, and we were bricking the flop. And there was fuck all we could do about it, really. And... nice. So yeah, so we worked hard to kind of get ourselves back on track. And now we've taken a bit of a hit, but we need to push on. A good way to do that is with a big old 3-bet. Happy to take it down pre-flop here. I've not been 3-betting very much on this table, purely because of the kind of style of play that's gone on thus far. So if I see a 4-bet, I'm probably not going to go with it. And this is a really terrible flop for me. Donald C is going to have pocket 9s, pocket 8s, pocket jacks, pocket 10s sometimes, but mostly it's going to be 9s, 8s, 7s, 6s, 5s. And this flop just smashes into that range. He's even going to call with some 7-6s sometimes, 8-9s, 8-7s. You know, I don't... Well, aside from maybe like if he decided to call with like an ace-jack or ace-queen, I don't... Or maybe a king-queen suited on occasion, all of which I block. I don't think I'm getting anything to fold by betting. 5 is kind of a good card because it means that we see a lot less pocket 5s. And if we did hit an ace or a king on the river, it counterfeits 8-9. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be giving this a go here. There's too many hands that beat us there. Incidentally though, like I think I maybe could have gotten away with doing a small delayed c-bet on the turn in order to see a river card. We're just a little bit card dead at the minute on our 3 tables. Just going to call the 5s. If he'd raised a little bit smaller, like min raise or 2.5x, I might 3-bet, but against the 3x, I'm just going to call and try and hit set, which we do. So now, it's a super dry board, so we just need to check this back, but hopefully he's going to pick up an ace. I'd expect him to try betting the ace, actually. I'm surprised by the check. Like, whether he's got an ace or not. Oh, here it comes. Question is, do we, like, raise now or look to raise the river? I think we raise now, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? I'm just going to raise small, though. I don't want to scare him off just yet. I mean, if he's got pocket aces or pocket 9s, like, I've already lost my stack, you know what I mean? The 4 of hearts is a really bad card, actually. I was going to jam, I was originally planning to jam for value on the river, but the heart on the river is just a really massive scare card for me. I think I'm going to check this down. I don't think, because think about the hands that I could potentially have. I could potentially have some flush draws that have now made a flush on the river. So if I jam, I think he's only calling with a flush, to be honest. I don't think he's calling like ace king or ace queen. I'm just going to check it down, I think. Fuck me, I had aces. What? Fucking hell, guys. I mean, that sucks because I lost a pretty decent chunk of my stack, but if that river doesn't come a heart, if that's any card other than a heart, I lose my stack there. So that's like, I mean, it really sucks. Like, it really fucking sucks to lose that hand after flopping a set. Like, the ace on the turn just fucking wrecks me. But that could have been so much worse, guys. That could have been so much worse. Meanwhile, we are bluffing with our missed open-ender here. I mean, all of this stuff is well in our range. It's kind of in his range as well, given that he raised on the button. We see the call for second pair as well. I wasn't expecting that. So just like that, we've lost a few hands in a row, and I'm gonna guess, yeah, we lost a fair bit there, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Last 10-15 minutes or so, we've taken a bit of a battering. But I mean, what can you do? Like, you flop a set, and the other guy turns a higher set. Doesn't look like he has it at all. And they're, you know, a lot of players on the river there would just fold their second pair. See if we can get better luck with the deuces. See if we can get better luck with the aces. Obviously, I'm hoping here that Juliet or Carlos just fucking rip it in. Seen Juliet do some questionable things already. And if Juliet 4-bets, I think I'd just be jamming, but fortunately we don't get more value with the aces. I'm just firing up some extra tables here because we can, basically. Flop an open-ender up top here. Probably going to look to check razor, actually. This falls nicely within hands that I could have potentially just hit on the flop. With Jack 10s and such. Wow, it's a really big raise. Really big bet, rather. Against a bet of this size, I might just call, actually. 7's a really bad card. If he did have an overpair, like an aces or a kings, now he's going to be a lot tougher to get off his hand. Okay. Big bet call. Yeah, I've tagged him as well as being a bit more passive post flop normally, so the amount of pressure we were facing there was unlike him. Now we take down the 9s. I'm not entirely sure what my Back rolls out. There we go. Yeah, so we're down essentially 1 buy-in at the moment. It's not the worst session in the world by any means. Had some tough decisions along the way. But we're picking up some hands now. We've got the ace-9 here. We've also got the queens in the middle table. And sod's law, when you when you get your hand, you just can't get anything going. Going to throw out a c-bet. Small c-bet, actually. On this board here. And we take it down. And do the same on a really dry flop. In the bottom corner. We're going to call this time. And I'm going to check. I've thought about c-betting again, but I feel like it's going to be tough to get him off any kind of hand. And we take down the 3-bet against Carlos. Really confusing to me because the tables have moved positions where I've added a few more. But like this one was previously where this one is. I'm getting confused between what players are on what table now. Pocket 4's raising it up. Ace-9 raising it up. You can see a call in the small blind. And we see a call in the big blind here. And we're going to check pocket 4's here and turn a set. So that's the best way of doing things, isn't it? Got to watch out for Donald C's, the one who had aces a minute ago and slow played them post flop. And we take it down there. And the ace-9 on this board. I've looked at this kind of board a lot on some training stuff. And essentially, if you get like ace-jack low card and it's a board with at least 2 of 1 suit on there, you should be playing pretty aggressively, basically. We 3-bet the ace-jack here. It's not the best flop in the world for us. We're going to c-bet small and try and take it down. We can still potentially hit a 10 for the nut straight or an ace, which might be good sometimes. Well, we do hit the ace on the turn. We would have got called by some ace-10s and such sometimes, some king-jacks. Maybe even queen jack, queen 10. I think I'm going to check this over now. I've got some showdown equity, but I'm still not overly thrilled about my hand. 10 on the river, obviously we have to throw out a small bet at least. Got to be worried a bit about the flush that comes in. And we take it down. Meanwhile, 3-bet in the king jack offsuit. And we flop top 2. I think we want to just bet this strong for value. Oh, we just get a snap fold. Yeah, my plan there was essentially bet strong for value against like, oh, I don't know, queen 10 suited and shit like that, you know. Pocket aces, ace king. I'm just going to flat call this. I'm a bit worried. I was about to say I'm a bit worried about an ace coming on the turn or something like that, but I don't think I achieve much by raising. Yeah, I'm just going to let it go. Might be a nitty kind of fold there on the turn, to be honest. But and maybe I should have just raised on the flop. But it's one of those things like when you raise on the flop there, you're only ever raising like weak hands. You're never raising a 7 there. Meanwhile, these guys are getting a bit frisky. Interesting to see if someone's got like a straight and someone's got a flush here. Could get messy. Leslie's got a straight here and Sasha's like, okay. Well, I'm going to retire from trying to read people's hands. We got a pair of 7s and a pair of 3s. But we got a pair of kings over here, so calls thrown in the raise. And we got 3 kings over here. Super dry board, so we're just going to check it. I'm just going to check call. I'll probably check raise this turn. Oh, okay. I'll just bet just slightly over half pot on the river here. Meanwhile, we get 4-bet here by Ben Yu. I think I'm just going to call 4-bet out of position. And I think I'm beat. I'll be honest, guys. I don't see him raising with anything other than a flush or a high king, so saw it here first. Oh, the king's hand here. This is going to be horrendous now, isn't it? He's going to have aces or queens or ace king. But most of the time, I think, a lot of the time, I'm going to be looking at aces. I think I should just shove, and if he's got aces, he's got aces. If he's got queens, he might just call anyway, so. Yes! Let's fucking go. Get called by the jacks. And that is a really important hand to win for more than one reason. So he, because it's very rare that I see people 4-bet jacks. I mean, that was a good hand to win there, guys. And we got 9s here, we got 9s here, we got aces here. Aces facing a raise. Obviously snapping it off with the aces against ace king. And he is dead. Yes, guys. And just like that, we've gone from being about a buy-in down to being about a buy-in up. We also take down this pot up here for the pocket 9s. Meanwhile, we call the pocket 9s on this flop, but we're probably going to end up folding the turn. Put a small bet in for the pocket 4s. Meanwhile, we've checked down all the way here. I don't see any reason to bet, so we're just going to check our 10. And Juliet slow playing an ace again. I did see her do earlier on. We pick up the aces again, the second time, guys. Second time in almost as many as hands here. Coming for a standard 3-bet. Hoping to see a 4-bet again here. And unfortunately, we get some folds there. Just double checking. Yeah, we're up just over, slightly over half a buy-in. Just gonna bet 2 big blinds here. Try and get called by some stuff and some things. Now we're gonna bet a little bit with a little bit more heart. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm a little bit nervous about what he could have here. I mean, the 6 makes my river decision a lot easier. I lose to Jack 10, which he can have sometimes, but sometimes he'll just have Ace 10 or King 10 as well. In which case we're chopping. So let's just hope he doesn't have Jack 10. If he does, then that really sucks. Wow! What the fuck? Yeah, Queen 9! Oh, that is brilliant. What the fuck? Oh, Jimmy. What are you doing, mate? What? Finn, you're gonna have to correct yourself now. It's a good 3 minutes. Meanwhile, we've got the nut straight up here, and I can't get value from it. What the fuck? Jimmy just fucking giving us the dollar, like giving us all the dollar. What did the fuck did he even do? Like, he check raised the turn? No, he just straight up fucking raised the turn. Open ender on paired board. Jammed. Double paired. Sorry guys, I got hands all over the fucking place at the minute while I'm trying to write this note. Look at this heinous bullshit here as well. Double paired river with queen high. Okay, right. Literally printing, mate. We got a weird kind of hand going on here as well, where I raised pre. Sorry, I 3-bet pre, c-bet the flop. Now do we go for that? No, I think we check the river. I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried about Ace King. Ace King is in his range, but then so is like King Jack, King Queen, and stuff like that. I think I need to call this river regardless. Oh yes, boys, we get it against the Ace Jack. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. If this was a smaller bet, I'd be calling, but against that size, I'm not calling. And we flop the top 2 pair up here. Sorry guys, changing the stream title to We're Printing. Thanks for the idea, Nick, by saying printing in the chat. Wow, that's a big old bet by Cole here. I think we just got to go straight for the raise, right guys? I don't want him getting there. I don't want to give him, you know, 3 cards on such a connected board where he could potentially outdraw me. I think I've got the best hand now. He might have aces and think that I'm raising up with the draw here as well, so we could potentially end up getting it in with the best hand some of the time. Of course, there is always a possibility that he's flopped the set. Obviously, if he did have aces, then he could still outdraw us and stuff like that. But we get the fold, and the good times keep on rolling. We got the pocket sevens, just going to call in the small blind here. Going to stick with the primo strategy of flop sets, win. Although that said, I think it was the last time I flopped a set. It might not have been, but when I flopped a set of fives earlier and ended up getting owned by a turn set of aces, like that was pretty painful. Juliet does like these big raise sizes. Do you know what, guys? I haven't even considered this yet. I think some of these players might be people who are used to playing live and have decided to move to online. Because some of the raise sizes here are more typical of what you'd see live. Like you're more likely to see people raise like 5x or 6x, like 3-bet 5x or 6x in a live cash game than online. But I'm wondering if maybe some of these people who are used to playing live in casino or wherever have had to kind of move themselves online and are still making their bets and raises in the same manner. Meanwhile, we've got hands going everywhere. We've got stuff and things. Hoping to see a showdown with the eights here. And we do take it down. Gonna see bet small here. We've got backdoor nut flush draw. We've got the nut straight draw as it is. And we can always hit top pair on the turn as well. And I think I want to try and control the size of the pot here. I don't want it to get too big, so I'm going to bet small again. Obviously, Sydney can have ace jack and ace 10, and I am concerned about the raise. I think I'm just going to fold to the raise, to be honest, guys. I don't think they're going to be raising with anything that I beat at the moment. But king, queen, ace 10, ace jack, all raising. Jack 10's raising. Sets. Yeah, I think I need to let this one go, actually, begrudgingly. We will flop top pair and a gut shot up here, so we're going to bet this pretty strongly. King on the turn. It's not a great card. It's not a terrible card either, I guess. Problem if he's got a king with a king X of clubs. We're just going to check down the river. We're not beating anything that's yeah, not beating anything that's going to call, and anything that we already beat is going to fold anyway, so kind of a weird situation here. We call on the turn and we take it down. These small pots, guys, these are the lifeblood that keep you going when you're having a funny 5 minutes, you know what I mean? You can just get to showdown with your like second pairs and third pairs, and a lot of the time you'll get that little bit of help that'll keep you going. in the tough times. Hey, bankrolls got over 200 euros. So only less than a month ago, or 3 weeks ago, I think, deposited 100 euros on here, and we've just taken it over the 200 mark, and we've got another 7 coming our way from Rakeback this week. It's going to be 10 in just a moment. So really we can say that we're up to 213-ish euros, our bankroll. Session we played on Thursday, we started at around 130-ish, I think, and got it up to about 178. Today now we started about 171 or 2 because I played a little 4NL the other day. And we've managed to take that over the 200 mark, so looking okay at the moment. Leslie 3-bet here in the small blind. We just called with our queens. Leslie decides to fucking pot size it on the flop here. The question is, do we want to jam or do we want to call? We can't fold. I think I'm going to jam. Actually, no, I think I'm going to call. Give Leslie the opportunity to do something stupid with an ace-king. You know what I mean? They could have aces and kings as well, but I think we need to call this anyway. And this is really going to suck because it'll take us back down to about even if we lose the hand, but we can't fold this, I don't think. What the fuck? Fucking 5-4? What? What? I mean, the good news is we made the right call, but fucking 5-4? Like, that's so much more annoying than if it was aces or... If it was aces or kings, I could have accepted it and just gone, alright, fair enough. You got aces, you got kings. It looks like you have, and you did have. Like, never in a million years did I expect to see 5-4 there. Like, ever. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I'm not being robust enough in my reading or some shit like that. I don't know. But that's just weird, man. I need to compose myself for a second here, guys. Really knocked me for 6, that one did. Where are we at now? Yeah, it's knocked us back down. Oh, we're just slightly above break even actually, but this makes no sense. We have to call it because top pair, top kicker. Also got top pair, top kicker over here. I mean, maybe I should have jammed the flop. Is that how I get out of that situation? Oh my god, do you know what I've just realised, guys? I didn't have top pair. I thought this was ace queen. Oh, okay. Nice. I mean, that helps. That helps the situation, certainly. Meanwhile, we see bet the flop here. We check the turn and see a check back. D8 on the river. See what Stephen S does. Don't really have any knowledge on him. And we're gonna have to call this. Could be ahead, we could be behind it. It's kind of a, it's 50-50. But you're gonna have King Jack and Queen Jack, Ace 10, King 10. King 10, there you go. Just fucking breathe, guys, innit? Oh god. I mean, those were two good hands to win off the back of that one then. Those were two really good hands to win there. Off the back of that one that I just fucking raised it also. I haven't left a note. C-bet pot size. Sure. Flop. Not flush. Flush draw flop. And jammed turn. A straight draw and a flush draw. Oh god, that was that really did tilt me, to be fair. I've managed to kind of gather my composure a bit here. And we're back up about a buy-in here. Oh, my word, my word. I'm gonna call Hugo. I'm just going to fold that out. Meanwhile, we've called with the King Jack off. Need to call at least one here with our second pair. It's going to be c-betting all their flush draws. They're going to be c-betting with some random trash that is just trying to get us to fold. And against this fairly sizable turn c-bet, we can just let it go. As much as we may not like it or enjoy it. Meanwhile, these guys have got a hand going on here. This is where we had the Queen Jack. Be interesting if Hugo shoves. Very interesting if Hugo shoves, in fact. I would be very interested. Hugo folds. Okay, we're going to fold the Queen 6, but we are raising up the Queen 9 offsuit. I'm just going to check this back. Doesn't hit either of our ranges very well, to be honest. We'll throw out a delayed c-bet against the 7 on the turn. Now you get called, we hit the Queen, and now we can bet around about half pot, try and get called by an 8, or like pocket 5s and pocket 6s, hands like that. Now we do get called. And we win the pot, and we get called by pocket 4s. There we go. Exactly what I was aiming for. Okay, you're going to notice here the guys that I'm sat out. I am going to shoot off now. I haven't eaten anything all day, and I'm time for some food, so I'm going to call it a day here. We put in a profitable session. That 5-4 hand is going to be going around my brain for the rest of the day, no doubt. Here you are. See my face. See my beautiful face. Yeah, the 5-4 hand just now, like, that's going to be going around my head for the rest of the day. Like, maybe I should have jammed flop, and maybe they would have folded. But I mean, if someone's just barreling fucking 5-4 suited into you, and you call with queens, and they just bink off the straight on the river, like. You've kind of done your job, you know what I mean? Like, I was trying to get them to do something stupid. They did something stupid and they just got lucky, so I can't be too annoyed, but I am a bit annoyed still. But either way, we put in a profitable session, up about just under, actually just over a buy-in. We're up. We also built up quite a bit of rate back as well, which we'll get. So all in all, good session after a real struggle at the start, and yeah, feels good. So yeah, appreciate you guys coming out. If you're watching for the first time, hit the follow button. If you've seen me before and you enjoy the content, all that shit, then hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be getting some subscribe emotes and badges and all that shit sorted in the near future. So yeah, cheers guys, I'll catch you next time.